Hello and welcome back. This is the third video on this YouTube channel in total, and actually the third video in the series too. So like I say, if you didn't watch the previous two episodes, please do watch them. At least watch the first episode, unless you really hate ballpoints. You can just watch the start of it and then I explain how the video is going to go. But I'll just say a few things about this. I'm going to do it in order of when I recently reacquired them. This one I had way before this one. So this one was my first ever fountain pen possibly. And this one is my first decent fountain pen, which I acquired late 2017, and I acquired this one early 2018, reacquired, sorry, even though I had this way before. So I'm going to do it in the order of when I acquired them, when my knowledge of fountain pens kind of was more than it was originally. So as you can see, this clearly a decrease in quality. Like I said, this is my first fountain pen. Probably had it when I was in about year 3, year 4, year 5. Back when you're like learning to write, probably year 3 then, if you're learning to write. You've progressed from a pencil to one of those really uncomfortable handwriting pens, in inverted commas, like the barrel handwriting pens. Really uncomfortable. At least I found them really uncomfortable to hold. And the nibs were always dry and really hard and awful to write with. And then, if you were really good at writing, which I used to be before my handwriting went down the drain pretty much, you upgraded to this. This was called the Master Scribe. Well, obviously it's a fountain pen. Well, you don't know that until I uncap the pen. But here it is, the Master Scribe. That's what they called it. If you're handwriting, you progress from that, the pencil, to the handwriting pen, in inverted commas, and then the Master Scribe, which was this one. I just dropped that again. Please do excuse me, I've had a long day. We'll start at the end of the pen, shall we? Blue plastic cap, as you can see, clear. Kind of see the nib through it, actually, translucent, kind of semi-translucent area there, obviously. Nice clear blue plastic. The end, there's holes in the top, so you don't want to leave this hanging around because it will dry out, and I have had it dried out on me recently, so I had to clean it out, and I've just left it empty because I rarely ever use this pen. I don't know why I inked it up in the first place. Basically, 2 holes in the back of the pen. For some reason, I don't know why that was a design choice, even though it's a fountain pen, so it would dry out. As you can see, nice blue clip matching the blue, total blue aesthetic. Very stiff on here, very hard, so it's not going to snap off unless you force it and it'll snap there. But springy as well, snaps back really good, and it's got this thing. Not that you clip this in a pocket because, you know, you're at bloody year 3, obviously. Very interesting design, actually, for that. Overall, not really aesthetically pleasing pen. It's just a cylinder. You may think it's just a cylinder, but actually it tapers down ever so slightly, and you'll find out why in a bit. Other end of the pen, again, holes in the back. So obviously this is all plastic. However, you cannot convert it to eyedropper because there's big holes in the back, and I'll just show you that now. Actually, let's remove that. Like I said, it's not inked. There's nothing in here. Don't know if you can see down there, but there's holes. Obviously. Yeah, I think you're just about to see that if your resolution's high enough on the YouTube app. But there's holes in there, so cannot eyedropper convert this. Kind of a, actually I may as well just go to what I was about to explain there. Post the pen post, but it becomes unbelievably long, actually. Just screw this back on. It becomes ridiculously long when posted. That is just utterly ridiculous. Like, that's the length of a ballpoint pen. It's ridiculous. You gotta go and post with this pen, but obviously the opportunity is there. Now, if the pen actually posted down to about here, it would probably be a bit more sensible, but it doesn't. It stops there. And obviously someone's tried to post it too hard and cracked the cap. Obviously, like I said, I don't go posted because that is just ridiculously long. It barely fits in the frame. That's a lot better. So obviously the previous owner posted it and did that to it. So obviously the person who owned this probably owned both of them before. No, I'm joking. Because I never owned this before. I owned this one, I'm pretty sure. But maybe that person used it and posted it way too hard. Obviously not good. And I was saying about the small taper. So it posts this way, obviously. However, it does not post this way. So therefore, that is we conclude that is not cylindrical, that is slightly tapered, ever so slightly. Enough so this can post on this side, and it can't post on that side. Interesting section, actually. It has this removable blue plastics ring. I don't know why it's like that. So you can have it so it doesn't have that. If you just screw it up. Like so, I'll put that down. It's just smooth. It's got a bit of a step, but it's smooth. It's not going to be uncomfortable there. For some reason, there is this ring on it. Maybe something to do with handwriting, actually, but I'm not entirely sure. Because it's kind of where the inside of your thumb rests, actually, which is interesting. Now, this is a ergonomically shaped grip, so there are indentations there quite clearly, so you would hold it right there, like so, 3-finger grip. And like I said, that's where the bend in your thumb actually rests, which is quite interesting if you choose to have that blue ring there. Nib is very tiny, unbranded, completely unmarked. I have no idea what style nib this is, what size nib, sorry, because it's completely unmarked. There's nothing on the feed either, like the Parker pens they have, their marking on the feed, nothing. There's not a brand name whatsoever. I don't even believe it says made in China anywhere, which is actually a surprise, because usually plastic pens like this are made in China, but nothing like that whatsoever, which is interesting. As you can see, nib and feed very tiny. Nib and feed are removable, like so, just friction fit, like so. Tiny nib, nothing to do with that really. Important feed, just plastic, boring feed, but no fins visible on the outside. There's a hole there, which is interesting when you put it in there. For use of a converter, if you really wanted to use a converter. Like I said in the last video though, this is standard international cartridge pen. As you can see, there is a definitive gap for where the feed should go and where the nib should go. There's a flat end, and then obviously the bottom of the feed is flat, like so, and there's obviously a gap for where the nib should go. Again, like I said, they're friction fit. Obviously, this just slides around completely, so either you could line it up well and then poke it in, if I can get it the right way around, but inside the nib and feed slot in how they should perfectly anyway. That's how they should work. Like I said, uninked, so you can kind of see through the channel there, through the nib slip. I don't know how obviously very fine pen. I used to use this as a cheap extra fine pen. I'm not sure if it's extra fine, considering it's probably made in China, so it's probably an equivalent of a Eastern fine nib, and more like a Western extra fine. So that's why I dubbed it that. But I may be completely wrong because I have no experience with fine pens. Now, I believe this has no tipping material at all. I'm not sure how well you can see it because my camera does not focus very well. But there's no tipping material at all, I don't believe. I believe that the ball shape has been made by it being compressed. The end of the steel, I'm assuming, has been compressed down and made this. I believe that's called a butterfly tip, but I have no idea. You have to correct me on that. I believe I saw that kind of terminology on the r/founding pen subreddit, but it's probably completely wrong, and I'm probably making stuff up like I normally do. But as you can see, obviously by that, no tipping means it's quite scratchy. Now that's probably reminiscent of the tines being misaligned. However, I've tried my best to align them. It's still quite scratchy. You can't see that at all. I don't know why I'm even trying to show you. They're not misaligned at the moment, however it's still scratchy, probably just because it's really cheap. And there's no tipping material, so what do you expect, really? Obviously I had this when I was like in year 3, I don't know what age I would have been back then, but standard international cartridge, obviously this is just a dry one, empty. Poke it in, that's actually not going in for some reason. How weird. I don't know why it's not going in. Unless it's just a really loose fit for some reason, and it is going in, but it's not clipping to it. That is strange, very strange. I'm not sure what's going on there. But like I say, standard international cartridge. Pen, which is where I got, like I said in the previous video, but if you haven't seen it, when I found this pen, I found it in a pencil case, and I had about 20 of these. So I was good for ink for quite a long time, actually. Then I did eventually run out, but I did find a tin of more, and I'll talk about that when I get into a few pens time. So this has kind of been the review of the Master Scribe, I'm going to call it, because I have no other term for it, because it has no name, has no branding, not even a nib size. I did used to call it the cheap extra fine pen, but I'm going to call it the Master Scribe now, because this is what the pen, they dubbed it back in the start of junior school, when you progressed from a pencil. This is the Master Scribe. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video. And like I said, like I did in the last video, even though this video is only 10 minutes long, if you did make it all the way to the end, please do comment down below Master Scribe. I just want you to do that, just because it shows me if people actually watch the end of the video. So comment Master Scribe down below if you watched the end of the video. Like I said, I do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll gladly see you later in the next video. Goodbye.